Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha wa batha minhuma rijalan kaseeran wa nisaa'a. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. The topics that I have been given the sujood sahw, and then mas over khuffain, wiping over the socks, qasr wal jama, shortening the prayers. Jama means combining two prayers. Sujood sahw. Let us talk about sujood sahw first. Sujood sahw means prostration or sajda that has been done to make up for the forgetfulness. Two sajda that we do to correct to make up or to correct the error that has been committed. Human being is weak. He has been created weak. And the insan, as the ulama say, the root letters of insan, some ulama say it has been taken from noon, sin, ya, which means to forget, nasiya. Some ulama says the root letters of insan is noon, sin, ya, which means to forget. So human beings tend to forget. Even when they are praying, they're supposed to concentrate properly and they're supposed not to forget, but sometimes shaitan whispers, and sometime the weakness of human being overtakes and he forgets how many rakat he has done. Sometime he adds something to the prayer and sometime he subtracts something from the prayer. So what we got to do when this happens? Okay, so our sharia is a complete sharia. Our sharia is a complete deen or complete sharia, and this is a sign of being its true sharia or being a true religion from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here you find solution for every situation or for every problem. What we have to do when these things happens, something that has been prepared by human being, you find some topics or some things are untouched. Some projects or some books or things that has been prepared by human being, you find some faults or some defects. And when you ask them, they simply say, I haven't thought about this. This idea didn't come to my mind. But here, this sharia or this deen is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you find a solution for every situation. Okay, what we have got to do if we forget? Or what we have to do if we add something to prayer? Or if we reduce or subtract something from prayer? These are three reasons for which the sujood sahw can be done. To adding something, or to reducing something from the prayer, or if the shak or doubt comes. Okay, let us take one by one. If we add something to the prayer, something to the prayer, sajda sahw should be done. These are the three reasons: addition, or if we are taking away, reducing something, or if we are in doubt. So if we are adding something in the prayer, let's say we are supposed to pray 2 rakah or 4 rakah and someone is doing 3 or 5. What he has to do, as soon as he realizes that he is doing 1 rakah more, he should stop. He should stop there and go into the tashahhud and complete the prayer and do 2 prostration that are called prostrations for forgetfulness. And these 2 sajda can be done before the taslim or can be done after. We got option. It is optional. It can be done before taslim, after saying tashahhud and darood and the other du'as, we can do 2 sajda and do the taslim at the end. The other way of doing sajda sahwi is finish your prayer by doing taslim and then saying Allahu Akbar and going to sajda, coming back and sitting between 2 sajda and reading the usual dua and going to sajda again. And once you finish the second sajda, do the taslim. So sajda sahwi can be done before taslim or can be done after. And here if somebody is doing the 2 sajda after the taslim, he can, after finishing the 2 sajda, he can do the taslim right away, or he can do tashahhud as well, as some ulama said, and the tashahhud has been mentioned in some hadiths. But the correct way or the more popular way is to do the taslim without doing tashahhud. So if we are adding something and if we realize during the addition, we got to stop. There's no way or no point in saying, let me complete the rak'ah. If you are doing the 5th rak'ah or doing the 3rd rak'ah in Fajr prayer, and during the rak'ah we realize that we are doing extra, this is additional rak'ah, we're supposed to stop immediately and go to the tashahhud. We shouldn't say, let me complete the rak'ah and I do the sujood sahwi later on. No, because this is something extra, so we should stop. Okay, and if we realize after completing the additional rak'ah, so there is no way we can stop. Here you have to complete the rak'ah, do the tashahhud and do 2 sajda sahwi later on. And if we realize that we have added something after we completed the prayer and after we concluded the prayer, what we got to do? So if the gap is meaning if you are realizing just after finishing the prayer and not too much time has passed, then we got to do 2 sajda only. Say Allahu Akbar, do 2 sajda and taslim. If we realize that we have added something after we concluded the prayer, after we did the salam, and there was not too much time passed, okay, and the wuzu hasn't been broken, not too much time has passed and wuzu is still intact, then what we got to do? Just do the 2 sajda sahwi. That will make up for the mistake. And if the duration has, or the time passed is bigger, or let us say the wuzu has been broken, then we have to do the prayer again, repeat the prayer completely again. Okay, sajda sahwi can be done or has to be done if we reduce something from the prayer. We are not adding something, instead subtracting, or we are reducing something. So yes, here we can say that if you are reducing something, okay, it falls into 2 categories. If you are ignoring something that is necessary, that is rukn. If we are ignoring something that is really necessary, that is part of the prayer, rukn, wajib, something to do. And if you are leaving something that is not rukn, only wajib, okay, there are all the posture or all the actions of the prayer can be categorized into 3 categories. Actions that are absolutely necessary. Without them, the prayer cannot be complete. They are called rukn. Some actions that are necessary, but without them, the prayer can be completed. They are called wajib. Some actions are sunan. Sunan means recommended things. Okay? If we are neglecting any rukn, then what we have to do? We have to bring that rukn and later on do the sajda sahwi. For example, if we miss the second sajda, if you miss the second sajda of first rak'ah, for example, and you realize when you started in the second rak'ah, you realize that you have done only 1 sajda, because all these 2 sajda from arkanus salah, they are necessary part of the prayer. Here you have to bring the rukn and do the sajda later on. And what is the way to do? What is the way to bring the rukn? Because you started in the qiyam, then your first rak'ah won't be count, and the second rak'ah will replaces the first rak'ah, because you started the qiyam, you got involved in the following rukn. So there is no way you can go back. You can go back if you realize when you are getting up for the qiyam. But if you already started the qiyam of the following rak'ah, there is no way you can go back. So this second rak'ah will replace it for the first one. First one won't be counted. And later on you have to do 2 sajda sahwi. You have to bring the rukn first and then do the sajda saw. And this rule applies for all the arkan. If you miss anything that is necessary, that is part of the prayer, like two sajda, ruku, and surah Fatiha, qiyam, all these are necessary parts. You have to bring the rukn first and then do the sajda saw. And if you miss something that is wajib, meaning not compulsory, not necessary, not a essential part of the prayer, here this error can be made up by doing two sajda saw. For example, first tashahhud is wajib. Okay, and if you miss the tashahhud while you are standing up, while you are standing for the third prayer, and during the standing up, you realize or you remember that you have missed the tashahhud, then come back and complete the tashahhud. But if you started the following rukn, meaning you stood up completely and you started reciting surah Fatiha, there's no way back to go into the tashahhud. Here, what you have to do the two sajda saw. Wajib can be made of, wajib can be covered or can be corrected by two sajda saw only. But remember, if we realize that we are leaving a wajib, while we are moving to the following rukn, we should go back. While we are going to the next rukn, we should go back and complete the wajib and do the two sajda saw later on. But let us say we started the following rukn, then you cannot go back to make it up. All you can do is to do two sajda saw. As for the wajibatus salah, things that are wajib, what things are the wajib, or which actions comes under this category? For example, tashahhud is wajib, and saying Subhan Rabbil Azim at least once is wajib. Saying Subhan Rabbil Ala in sajda, it is wajib. And takbiratul intiqal, Allah Akbar, when we move to one posture to another, we say takbir. These are called takbiratul intiqal, they are wajib. Saying Sami Allahu al-Hamida, this wajib. And saying Rabbana lakal hamd, it is wajib. Okay, and saying the dua between two sajda, these things are wajib. So if wajib has been missed and you only realize once you involve in the next rukn, then no way back to do the wajib or complete the wajib. All you have to do is to do two sajda saw. The third reason for sajda saw is the doubt, meaning you are praying and you are praying, but you are not sure how many rak'ah you have done, whether you have done 2 or 3, whether you have done 3 or 4. For example, you are doing Isha prayer and all of a sudden you doubt about the number of rak'ah. Have you done 3 or 4? What we have to do here, this also requires us sajda saw. Later on at the end we got to do sajda saw. And how to deal with this doubt, what you have to do here. Okay, ulama have differed here. Some ulama said straightforwardly that you have to take the least number. If you are doubting between 3 and 4, think that you have done 3, because there is no doubt in the 3. You are absolutely sure that you have done 3. It is only about the 4th one. Have you done it or not? So some ulama said take the least number. In every single case, take the least number, think that you have done the least number and do what is remaining and do the sajda saw at the end. And some ulama have said something different. They said if you are doubting between 3 and 4 and the level of doubt is equal, 50% here and 50% there, in this case you have to take the least number, think that you have done 3 and do the remaining and do sajda saw. And sometime you find that you are more, you think that you have done 4 rak'ah and there is little bit doubt about the 3. Okay, so some ulama say take the number which you think about it most, meaning the level of doubt is not equal. 75% you think that you have done 4, only little bit element of doubt is there that you have done only 3. In this case some ulama say you have to take the number in which you have less doubt. Okay, if you think 75% that you have done 4, then you have to take the 4 number and do the sajda saw. And some ulama here say no, in every single case take the least number. Take the least number, because there is no doubt in the least number. The only doubt is whether you have done 4 or not. Okay, so these are the 3 reasons for sajda saw. If you are adding something or if you are subtracting something, or if you in doubt. Okay, and doing this sajda sahw is optional. You can do before taslim or you can do after taslim. And there are some other rulings as well. For example, if you are doing the prayer in jama'ah, you have to follow the imam. Even if you think that you have done something wrong, or if you are in doubt, but you don't have to do sajda sahw on your own because you are following the imam, so imam will take care. You don't have to do sajda sahw even if you are doubting. Okay, there is some special case. For example, if you have joined the imam later on, if you have joined the imam during the prayer, you missed 1 or 2 rak'ah, and you have done 1 or 2 rakat with the imam, and then you stood up to make up for the missing rak'ahs, and here something happened. You have added, or you have ignored something, or you are started doubting. Here you have to do sajda sahw and deal according to the situation. If you are adding or reducing, or if you are in doubt. But if you started with the imam, you have to complete the prayer with the imam, and imam will take care. Imam will take care. You have to finish the prayer with the imam. Even if any individual doubts about the number of rak'ah, or if he thinks that he has added, something has been added or something has been reduced, he don't have to do sajda sahw. All he can do to check with the imam. All he has to do to check with the imam. If the other people also say the same, then the imam will take care how to correct the mistake. Okay, any question with regard to sajda sahw? Did you understand it? Okay, he was doing 4 rak'ah prayer. He has done only 3 rak'ah and concluded the prayer. Later on he realized that pardon? Immediately he realized that he missed 1 rak'ah. So he has to do 1 rak'ah, complete 1 rak'ah, or perform 1 rak'ah, and then do the 2 sajda sahw because something was wrong. Salam should be done at the end, and he came out of the prayer after doing 3. So bring the missing part. Bring the missing part first, then do 2 sajda sahw at the end and the salam. You can do before taslim or you can do after taslim. If you are doing after taslim, you have to do salam again. After doing 2 sajda, you have to do salam again. Okay, let's move to the other topics. Fiqhul qaza, making up for the prayer. Okay, making up for the prayer. Making up for the prayer can be done only in one of the 2 cases. For example, if someone has forgot the prayer, someone was busy with anything and forgot to pray, then whenever he remembers that he hasn't done the prayer, he got to make up for that prayer, do that prayer. If the time is there, then his prayer will be counted as ada, because he remembered during the time. It is not qaza. Okay, and if he has remembered after the time has passed, it is just called qaza, but for him it will be ada, because it is not his mistake. It is qaza in wording only. If he remembers after the time has passed, he will get the reward of the ada prayer. He will get the reward as if he has done the prayer at his time, because it is not his mistake. As we said, human beings are weak, and forgetfulness is from their nature. So this is one reason for doing the qaza. The second thing, sometimes a person sleeps. Okay, a person sleeps over and over. Sleeping, what do you say? Slept over. Okay, and missed the prayer. And while he wakes up, he realizes that Fajr prayer has gone out. The time for the Fajr prayer has gone. Here what he has to do, whenever he wakes up, he has to do the prayer. And he has to do it in the same way as if he would have done during the time. Meaning he has to recite the qira'ah loudly. For the Fajr we do the qira'ah loud. So he has to do exactly the same way. But let me point out this fact, that while we are sleeping, we got to make sure that we will wake up for the prayer. If you got the, for example, alarm mobile, we got to fix the alarm and try our best to wake up. If someone is alarm is ringing and still he puts the alarm off and goes on sleeping and then wakes up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, his prayer will be he will be sinful, and his prayer won't be counted as neglectful. Okay, it's something not good. Unless someone is really tired and he didn't realize. Sometimes we put the alarm off and we don't realize. Okay, then maybe he will be excused. He will be excused because he didn't realize. But for example, some people got the alarm and got the mobile, but they don't fix the alarm. They want to have a long sleep. Okay, this type of people will not be excused. So the qaza is in these two in these two forms, in the two situations, when we forgot or when we oversleep. Okay, people who neglect the prayer, deliberately delay the prayer, there is no qaza for him. People who neglect or delay the prayer deliberately, there is no valid qaza for him. Okay, he has to do the prayer whenever he got the time, but he will be sinful. He will get sin, or yes, this will be counted as a sin for him. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, he can punish him. So these are the two legitimate situation where qaza can be done, and it is qaza in wording only, otherwise the reward will be of the other. Okay, some other points. If someone misses a prayer or forgets a prayer and he remembered when the other prayer is going on, for example, he slept from the Zohar prayer. Okay, he went to the bed at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock and he woke up when the Asr time already started, and he came to the mosque and he find the Asr prayer is going on. So what this person has to do, he has to try his best to keep the order. He has to join the prayer with the intention of Zohar and complete the Zohar prayer. It doesn't make any difference. If the Imam is praying with the intention of Asr, you can join with the intention of the Zohar, because you have missed the Zohar prayer. And then do the Asr prayer later on. Try your best to keep the order. Okay, let us say if he has missed the Maghrib prayer and he found the Isha prayer is going on. What he has to do here? Okay, if he joined in the second rakah, then there is no problem. He can finish the prayer with the Imam. But let us say he joined the Imam from the very first rakah. What he got to do here? When he came to the mosque, he had to do the Maghrib prayer, but he found the Isha prayer has started. So he has to join the Imam. Here ulama have said that after completing 3 rakah, he should sit down there doing tashahhud and that thing. And once the Imam completes the 4th rakah and starts the tashahhud, he will join with the Imam and do the salam together. That's the one saying. And some ulama says he should conclude the prayer on his own and join the Imam, whatever he finds, whatever the rakah or whatever prayer is remain, he has to join with the niyyah of Isha prayer. He done his Maghrib prayer by doing tashahhud, darood and concluded. Now some part of the Isha prayer is going on, so he has to join the Isha prayer and he will get the reward for both. Meaning, as his Maghrib prayer done through the Jama'ah, and he got the Isha, part of the Isha prayer as well. I think the later opinion sounds more stronger. Second opinion is, after completing the 3rd rakah, he has to sit in the tashahhud, do the tashahhud and darood and conclude your prayer. Then you find still prayer is going on, the 4th rakat is going on. So join with the intention of Isha and complete later on. You won't find the qiyam, because qiyam is short, isn't that? He will do the Surah Fatiha and goes into ruku. Maybe you can catch the Imam in the ruku or after ruku. If you have caught him in the ruku, meaning you have got 1 rakah with the Imam. And if you found him in the sajda, then you have to do the 4 rakats. Okay, doing the masa, fiqhul masa. What masa means? Masa means wiping over the socks or wiping over the head. That's also called masa. So wiping over the head is clear. The ruling are clear. After, during the wuzu, once you wash your hands, you do the masa. And masa has to be done once. The wet, you have to pass your wet hands from the starting of the head, forehead, bring your hands to the back, and then bring to the forehead again. This is the proper masa, starting from there and taking them to the back and bringing them again to the forehead, and then passing the fingers in your ears. These 2 fingers inside the ears and these thumbs outside the ears. From there, bring them to the ears, starting from the lower back and bring to the top. Okay, this masa which we are talking, or which has been dealt in your book, is about the masa over the socks. Masa over the socks is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Be the socks made of the leather or wool or cotton, whatever, as long as it is socks, masa is valid. Or masa is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. If they are made of the leather or cotton or cloth or anything else, it doesn't matter. As long as it's covering your feet and covering your ankles, it's called jawrab or called khuf. Khuf is basically the leather one, and jawrab is the woolen or cotton ones. Okay, is there any condition for the masa? Yes, there are some conditions for the masa. The first condition is that if the socks have been put on after doing wuzu, meaning you have done wuzu, you have washed your feet, and still your wuzu is intact. Okay, in this situation, in this state, you have put on your socks, meaning you have put on your socks after doing wuzu and while your wuzu is still valid. Then you are allowed to do masa later on when your wuzu is broken and you are doing a fresh wuzu. Then you don't have to take your socks off, you can do the masa. Okay, this is the condition. For example, at this moment, let us say someone is not having his wuzu intact. Okay, we did wuzu for Zohar and wuzu has been broken. If someone puts on his socks in this situation or in this state, he is not allowed to wipe over his socks for the wuzu which he will be doing for the next prayer. For example, for the Asr prayer. Here you are not allowed because you haven't wear the socks in the state of wudu. So this is the basic condition. This is the basic condition. Socks have to be worn or put on after doing wuzu, washing your feet, and after having the wuzu intact. Okay, there is timing as well. The timing is for the people who are resident, they 24 hours. For next 24 hours, they can do masa. Okay, but here you have to be careful from where or from when the time will start. From when the time will start, not from the time when you have put your socks on. Okay, when you have put your socks on, and next when your wuzu was broken and you are doing a fresh wuzu, from then on the time will start. So let me say if you have put on your socks now, okay, and your wuzu is still valid for Asr prayer and for Maghrib prayer, and your wuzu was broken after Maghrib when you wanted to do next wuzu for Isha. From then on, the time will start. Not from the time when you have put on your socks. Is it clear? After putting socks on, okay, when your wuzu is broken and you wanted to do the next wuzu, from then on the time will start. And again, when the time will end, not just after 24 hours. For example, your time is starting from Isha prayer. Okay, 24 hours will be completed for the next Isha prayer. But let us say you have done the wuzu and passed or did the masa for the following Isha prayer, and your wuzu was broken later on, 4 or 5 hours later. Then you have to take your socks off for the following wuzu and have a fresh wuzu and then put your socks on. So be careful with the starting time and with the time with the end time. It won't start from the time you put on your socks, and it won't end by passing 24 hours. After 24 hours, when your wuzu has been broken. Okay, the duration for the masa for the travelers is 3 days. Okay, what about if there are some holes in the socks? Yes, still we are allowed to do masa over the socks if they have some small holes. Yes, as long as they are called socks, it is okay. But if they are small holes and still you are wearing and still they are called or regarded as socks, masa is allowed. Even if they are transparent, meaning they are transparent, okay, and the color of the skin is apparent. As long as they are called as socks, masa is allowed. Okay, and the way to do the masa is what? You can use any hand, either right or left, or you can use both. Right hand to wipe out over the right leg, and left hand to wipe over the left leg, or either of the hand can be used for both. And the way is, take some water and flick it out, okay, and pass the wet hand on the top of your leg, from the toe over the ankle. Okay, let us say if this is the leg, you have to pass it this way only, not on the bottom or the other way. Yes, jama and qasr. Fiqhul jama and fiqhul qasr. Qasr means shortening the prayer. Shortening the prayer. 4 rakah prayer can be done 2. Okay, and there is no shortening, there is no qasr in Maghrib, and there is no qasr in Fajr prayer. They have to be done 2 and 3. Only 4 rakah prayer can be shortened and done 2. Who is allowed to shorten the prayer? A traveler. Only traveler is allowed to shorten his prayer. Okay, and who is the traveler? Is there any duration or length? Ulama have differed in this matter a lot, and there are many sayings. Some people say there is no duration as long as you feel that you are traveling, as long as the society think about someone as a traveler, he has to, or he is allowed to shorten his prayer. But the famous saying is approximately 80 kilometer. The saying of Jumhur, 80 kilometer, 48 miles, approximately 80 kilometer. If you are traveling for 80 or more, according to the Jumhur, majority of the ulama, the saying of majority of ulama is this, then you are allowed to shorten your prayer. And if your travel is for the less than 80 kilometers, you are not allowed. And as we said, the shortening is for the 4 rakah prayer. And if you are really traveling for more than 80 kilometers, then it is good or highly recommended to shorten your prayer, because this is the sunnah. It is not recorded from the Prophet ﷺ that he completed his prayer while he was traveling. It is not wajib to shorten, but highly recommended to shorten the prayer or to do the qasr. Okay, is there any duration for the shortening as well? For how long we are allowed to shorten the prayer? Okay, sometime we travel and we are not sure how long I'm going to stay. Depends on the situation, depends on the task for which we are traveling. It can be fulfilled or done in 2 days, or it can be done 3, 4, 5. Here, if the duration of the journey is not clear, for how long I'm going to stay, then all ulama have agreed that you can keep doing or keep shortening the prayer until your task is fulfilled and until you are returning back to your home. Okay, but let us say the journey is fixed. I already booked my ticket. I know I'm going to stay 3 days or 4 days or 5. In this case, if the journey is for 4 days or less than 4 days, Jamhur ulama says this is the duration where you are allowed to shorten your prayer. If you are staying for 4 days or less than 4 days, excluding the day of journey and the day of arrival and the day of return. The day of arrival and the day of return should be excluded. They are not count. Is it clear now? This is the saying of Jamhur. If you are staying for 4 days or less than 4 days, you are allowed. But if you are fixed that you are going to stay for 10 days, then you have to, according to the saying of Jamhur, you have to complete your prayer. From the very first day, not after the 4th day. From the very first day until the 10th day, you have to complete your prayer. Okay, these are the some important ruling about the qasr. What about the jama? What jama means? Jama means combining two prayers, combining between Zuhr and Asr or between Maghrib and Isha. Combining between two prayers is called jama. Okay, and only these two prayers can be done together, Zuhr, Asr or Maghrib and Isha. And there are two forms of combination. It can be, as they are called, Jama Taqdeem, Jama Ta'khir, advanced combination or delayed combination. In advanced combination, what we do, we pray Zuhr or Asr and Asr in Zuhr time. Maghrib and Isha is being done at Maghrib time. This is called Jama Taqdeem, advanced combination. The delayed one is to do the both prayer in the later time, like delaying the Zuhr prayer until Asr time started, and you are doing now Zuhr and Asr together. This is Jama Ta'khir. So Jama, this is Jama, and there are two forms of Jama. Who is allowed to do Jama, or who is allowed to combine between two prayer? The traveler, who is allowed to shorten the prayer. The traveler who is allowed to shorten the prayer, he is allowed to combine the prayer, especially when he is keep traveling. Especially when he is keep traveling. Let us say if somebody is staying in the hotel or lodge or not traveling, and from there he is making phone calls and doing his business. Whether he is allowed to combine his prayer or not, he is allowed to shorten his prayer as long as he is staying for 4 days or less than 4 days. Is that clear? He is allowed to shorten. Whether he is allowed to combine because he is staying in his hotel, and from there he is doing his business through the phone calls and not traveling. It is good for him to do each prayer in his time. However, it is allowed for him to combine as well. It is allowed for him to combine, but it is recommended for him to do each prayer in his time. There are some other people who are also allowed to combine the prayer, and they are marid, sick people. If they find that praying each prayer in its time is causing them problem or hardship, they are allowed to combine two prayers, do the two prayers in one time, in one prayer time, combine between Zuhr or Asr or Maghrib Isha, like the Prophet ﷺ allowed for Mustahaza and the other people. So sick people are allowed, and the combination is allowed when the weather is really bad, when it is raining. Okay, when it is raining, especially in the villages, once it rains, you find the path is muddy. Okay, it's not easy to come to the prayer. They are allowed to combine the prayer. If it is really stormy, meaning it's not raining, but the wind is really strong, stormy weather, then it is allowed as well. And for sick people, it is allowed to combine between two. So these are the people who are allowed to combine between two prayers: traveler, sick people, and when the weather is really bad. Yes, that's it. Pardon? If you are traveling and combining, so you can do the shortening and combination together, 2 rakah. The sick person or those people who are combining prayer due to the bad weather, they have to do the prayer completely. They are only allowed to combine, not to shorten. Shortening is for travelers only. Yes, any questions with respect to these topics? No, when the ulama, the Jamhur, when they said 80 kilometers, if your travel is up to the 80 kilometers, not 40 and 40. Okay, however, I said there is... Yes, then it will be... Yes, if you are traveling for 80 or more than 80. If you are traveling, meaning from your house, and the distance is 40, 60, 70, you are not allowed, according to the saying of Jamhur. Otherwise, there are some ulama who says, as long as you feel that you are traveling and you feel that there is a hardship and you don't feel as you are comfortable as you be when you are resident, you are allowed to shorten. Pardon? Prayers together. Yeah, the prayer is completed. You do 2 rakah for Zuhr, conclude your prayer, stand up, do a Iqamah again, and 2 rakah for Asr. So you are combining and you are shortening. Okay, the traveler, if he finds the prayer is going on, first of all he has to follow the Imam, do his Zuhr prayer. Here he is not allowed to shorten. He has to follow the Imam, do the complete prayer, and then if you want to combine, do the Asr prayer on your own. Or the group of travelers, they can do Asr prayer later on, afterwards, just after. Okay, remember when you are combining, there shouldn't be a big gap. When you are combining 2 prayers due to the journey or bad weather or sick, you have to do them together. Short gap is allowed, but not the sunnah is to do one after another. Can you repeat your question again, please? Before, no, the other condition for shortening or combining is once you started your journey, you left your house and you left your city as well, not from your home. If somebody is traveling already prepared and the time for Zuhr has entered, okay, you are not allowed to shorten your prayer from your home. If you haven't done your prayer, okay, you started your journey, you are allowed to do the Zuhr prayer. Once you started your journey, you are allowed to shorten. But from your home, you are not. Okay, the other condition for shortening or combining for the traveler is his travel has to be allowed traveling, allowed journey. Meaning he is not traveling to do something sin. Some people, knows billah, they travel with the intention that they are going out of Saudi or the European countries in order to commit sin, for example, knows billah. Then you are not allowed to take benefit of the concessions that have been provided by Sharia, because in the very first place your journey is illegal journey. Your whole journey is illegal. Then you are not allowed to take benefits of the concessions provided by the Sharia, because your journey is invalid journey. This is the saying of majority ulama. Some ulama say as long as it is journey you are allowed to shorten, you are allowed to combine. But the saying of majority ulama, it makes sense. If you are coming to the mosque while you are in journey, if you are praying in the mosque, you have to complete the prayer behind the Imam. If you are praying behind the Imam, you got to complete. Even though if you, for example, let us say if you join the Imam in the 3rd rakah of the Zuhr or Asr or Isha, you got 2, Imam got 4. Still here ulama say it is necessary to follow the Imam and do the complete prayer. However, there are some ulama who say you can conclude the prayer along with the Imam. But the strongest opinion is you got to complete your prayer. 4 rakat. Traveler can be Imam, yes. Traveler can be Imam, but he has to make it clear that he is going to do shorten the prayer. Otherwise, people may think that he has forgotten, and they may start saying Subhanallah and remind the Imam. But once you announce in the beginning that I am travel, I will do 2 rakah, you people who are resident, complete your prayer, that will be good. And no confusion will arise. Yes. within the
traveling on the road, if you cannot wait for the destination, it's the prayer time. But there's no place to stand. Can you, it is not mentioned.
It is valid to pray sitting. Okay, the question says, is it valid to pray sitting while traveling in long journeys? One will not reach their destination within the time. Okay, if someone is traveling, can he do the prayer while he is sitting? For example, especially in the aeroplane. In the aeroplane, there is no space to stand up. Or maybe they won't allow you to pray standing while the aeroplane is moving. Okay, here you have to do the prayer while you are sitting. But let us say in train, if you can make the prayer, can perform the prayer standing, then it is good to pray while you are standing. But let us say it is crowded and there is no space to stand up, then do the prayer sitting. Qibla. Okay, Qibla, you cannot follow the Qibla because it is not in your control. But you have to make a guessing which direction the Qibla is and start praying during facing that direction. Even during the prayer, if the direction changes, it doesn't matter. While you start your prayer, make sure that you are facing to the direction of Kaaba. Make the ijtihad and try to find out the correct direction. Then start your prayer facing that direction. If the direction is changed during the prayer, it doesn't matter because you are not controlling the train or bus or aeroplane. It is allowed, yes. No, if you think that the time will finish or time is over, then you have to pray during your journey while sitting. Even if you are not able to do the sajda, like in aeroplane, you have to make ishara. Okay, and the other advice is we shouldn't feel shy. We shouldn't feel shy. Some people, okay, they are too shy. What other people will think about me if I do my prayer sitting and doing ruku and sujood by ishara. Okay, it doesn't matter what other people think about me, let them think. I have to follow my deen. Okay, I have to follow my deen and I don't care about what other people thinking. And let us be positive as well. If I'm doing the prayer, this may lead the other people think about Islam, what type of religion is, who these people are worshipping to, why they are worshipping, what they are doing. Okay, it can provoke many questions in the mind of the viewers. So this is a type of dawah as well.
What if they missed a lot of salahs in your life?
Okay, if you have missed a lot of salahs in your life, for let us say when someone was young, during 15 to 20, okay, while he was teenage or during certain time or period, he used not to perform the prayer, establish the prayer. What he has to do? Okay, I think he has to do the tawbah. If it is one prayer or few prayer, he forgot. Okay, it is one prayer or few prayer which he has forgotten. Then he has to do whenever he remembers. But let us say he did not pray deliberately for a longer time or longer period. I think he has to make a sincere tawbah. That's it. Pardon? I'm not sure. Some people say do Umar Qaza or something. Do each prayer twice for 5 years or 5 months or for the duration that you miss the prayer. But we don't find anything Umar Qaza or something mentioned in the Quran or Sunnah or in the practice of the Salaf. All you have to do is to make sincere tawbah.